I just also want to say thank you to the audience, because in the days immediately after, I mean, we looked at each other a couple of times going like, what are we going to do here? And so many of you guys signed up to become members, members.charliekirk.com. So many of you bought the t-shirts at charliekirkstore.com, that you gave us this breathing room in this really hard time. And it was like, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if we've got a show. We don't know what but we committed to the staff. We're going to keep you. We're going to keep you. And you committed to them very clearly. Maybe say something.
I said, you're not going anywhere. You can choose to leave. Any of you can choose to leave. But you're a part of the Charlie Kirk family, Charlie Kirk Show family. And we need you. Each one of you serves a purpose and a role. And again, if the enemy tries to come in and divide, you'll be able to see that very clearly. But we will all remain a united front, and the show will continue.
I mean, a little behind the scenes here. Erica did that speech where I'm standing right now on the podium, somehow got through that, her national address. Then she walks out there to where all of our staff are, and she then goes on to do another speech to all the staff, telling them, you're not going anywhere. We're keeping the lights on. We're doing everything.
We listen, we don't judge, we just faint. Oh my God. People are saying that Erica Kirk is not a grieving widow at all. She's back at work already, and everything that she's doing is just suspicious. I want to believe that people grieve differently, okay? So maybe for her, because we are not with her always, we just get to see her when she comes on camera, right? However, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and this is what people are saying. I don't know your thoughts. You can comment down below to just let me know what you think. Do you think that she's rushing it? She needs some time to, feel whatever is happening, or what? Because it's so much going on. However, it's America. It's not like in Africa where there's traditions that has to be followed. So, yeah. Let me know, okay?
I'm just gonna say it, Erica Kirk's behavior is unsettling as fuck. It's not conveying real grief, it's conveying performance. It's giving uncanny valley. Like, this woman came out on stage to pyrotechnics, timing her body language and her crying to the music. Then she gives a speech that comes off as more of a piece of performance art than it does as an expression of real grief. And when you look at that woman's face, there is not a single tear streaming down that woman's face. There is not a single smudge of makeup out of place. She's making it look like she's crying, but she's not really crying. So yeah, the whole thing is unsettling as fuck.
I knew the person that would be married to somebody like Charlie Kirk would be a strange individual, but my goodness, I could not have predicted how strange she would be. This is the first time I'm seeing her face, first time I'm hearing her voice, first time I'm seeing her step into the role, the performance of what it means to be the wife of Charlie Kirk, and I have to say she's not doing a very good job. I'm not believing this performance, not one bit. It's giving performance in the worst possible way. It's giving poor acting job. It's giving soap opera, okay? Now, you talking about you don't know when the last time you slept. Babes, it was Wednesday. If you're going to put on the widow's act, you got to get your story straight. You can't even muster up a couple tears? Can't even do that? You showing us his dead body can't even bring tears into your eyes? You standing on the pulpit next to his chair with Donald Trump paraphernalia all over the place and can't even bring tears to your eyes? Whoever is running her campaign, whoever's running her PR, needs to sit her in front of Scandal and watch some true actors work. And then come back and do this performance again. My goodness. I think what's funnier is that I know if it wasn't a cishet white man that killed this man, the performance would have been up here. But unfortunately for her, it wasn't a person that you could call a slur. It was a Mormon far-right extremist individual. And I hate that for y'all.
Somebody asked me about Charlie Kirk's widow, and I was really blunt and straight up with you about it. I get a weird feeling. I got a really bad feeling from her. It's just a vibe. But I don't like what I've been seeing from the organization ever since Charlie was murdered. And last night, somebody asked me about Erica, the widow, in the super chats. And last night I said, I'm getting this vibe from her that she's very fake. The 2 speeches she's given, the public appearances, I said, I really don't like how the whole organization has been handling his death. It's gratuitous.
I think I figured out why Erica Kirk is so off-putting to liberal women. See, we're so used to seeing women all over social media yell and scream about the dumbest things. Yelling and screaming about losing their rights while never really being able to articulate what rights they've lost. Twisting every single experience that they have into a scenario where they are the victim. We had to endure weeks of them crying over a jeans ad. So when they see a woman that has actually gone through something horrifying and who would actually be justified in demonstrating the level of horror and outrage that many of these women demonstrate just by hearing the wrong pronouns, it just doesn't make sense to them when they see a woman that has every right to be a victim and chooses not to be, who would have every right to get on the internet and scream and cry at the world, yet she chooses to do this instead.
We really tried to discern properly how to go about the next few stages and steps of everything, and we've been very intentional in a way that always keeps Charlie first and his dreams alive.
It's because the party that claims to be about female empowerment has no idea what a truly empowered female looks like. That's why what little is left of their soul gets a little twitchy when they see it, and they know it makes their outrage that much more ridiculous.
I mean, look at this face. As of the recording of this video, we're only 16 days out from a supposedly brutal, horrific assassination of the love of her life, of the father of her 2 children. And she's acting like it kind of didn't happen. Are we going to hear about the Romanian angels situation? Are we going to hear her address what some people are saying, that she's been banned from Romania for a certain thing that people are accusing her of? 16 days out. I would expect this maybe from somebody 16 months out. But I have grandparents, and I know people, and you probably do too, that still mourn the loss of a loved one who wasn't taken during a horrific assassination or some kind of unexpected accident. Something where maybe a loved one was struggling with cancer for a couple years, going through chemotherapy, and the doctor's like, well, get your things in order because so-and-so only has 6 months or 12 months. And even after that, you don't recover like this. Even after preparing yourself 16 days out from the actual demise of the individual that you say you love, am I tripping? Or is this as bizarre to you as it is to me?
The reason they're doing that is because it's like atrocity propaganda. Who can ever criticize a grieving widow? She's a victim, She's a victim of a horrible tragedy. And so that makes her beyond criticism. So they're pushing her in the middle of this. And I see people saying she should run for president now. And I think that's very sneaky. And I think it's kind of evil, actually, the way that they seem to be leveraging the tragedy to create this political breakout moment. That's what that feels like to me. This feels like it was either scripted, it's in the script, or they're taking advantage of the situation and they're making like a calculated political breakout moment for her and saying she's going to run for office or she's going to now lead Turning Point, and you can't say boo about it because she's the victim of a horrible tragedy. Well, I'm not like other people. This is politics. I said it last night. Nobody would have anything to say about it if you were grieving with your 2 fatherless children at home, but you thrust yourself into the center of it after 3 days. That's a whole different story. And I don't like sneaky shit like that. I don't like when people take advantage of emotions. I don't like when political people take advantage of sentiment. I think it's very cynical. I think it's very calculated. I think it's devious. And I think they know what they're doing there. And they know you can't touch that because it's atrocity. Whenever there's an atrocity, we have to turn our brains off and pretend we're not thinking what we're thinking, and I don't like that. I think that's sneaky. So again, she wanted to go and be with her family that must be shaken and destroyed with the loss of its patriarch. That would be one thing. Why don't you take care of your kids? I know it's not my position to say that, but why don't you go and be with your kids now?
The reaction to Erica Kirk taking over Turning Point USA is a sign that tradwife culture is about to get a lot more extreme and a lot more hypocritical. Erica is infamous for quotes like the highest role of a woman is to be a wife and a mother, but these are not values that she herself lives by. At 18 years old, Erica Kirk started her own nonprofit. She went on to get a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and a doctorate. She's had careers as a model, a real estate agent, an actress, and is now the CEO of a lifestyle app, her own brand, a podcast, and Turning Point USA, a multi-million-dollar national corporation. These are the kind of women getting platformed by the modern conservative movement, and it's on a spectrum, from Candace Owens, who's very obviously political, all the way down to Nara Smith and Ballerina Farms, the more lifestyle influencer tradwives. These are women with careers, with businesses, with options, who are making money off of telling other women not to have those things and to be beholden to their husbands. These are women who either explicitly or implicitly criticize feminism and yet have everything that they have because of the feminist movement. These are women who could easily take care of themselves if they needed to leave an abusive relationship, or take care of their children if they lost their partner in an accident, and yet they are actively making money preaching to other women that they should not build their own backup plans and their own independence. The most ironic part of this whole thing is that if this conservative movement that they are helping to build actually succeeds, it will eventually take them all down with it. If they were actually relegated to the roles of wives and mothers like they say every other woman should be, they would not have these roles or the millions of dollars that come with it. Erica Kirk now being the face of something like Turning Point USA just takes this grift to a whole new level.
So people are now starting to point out that it's quite suspicious the way that Erica Kirk has been acting since the death of Charlie Kirk. Obviously, she's now stepped into the CEO role at Turning Point, where she's now delivered 2 speeches, not just one in a stadium memorial where Charlie's parents weren't even present, but also going on podcasts just 2 weeks after the assassination, instead of being at home with her 2 young daughters who just lost their dad. Now, take a look at this clip. Let me know what you think.
Again, if the enemy tries to come in and divide, you'll be able to see that very clearly, but we will all remain a united front, and the show will continue.
I mean, a little behind the scenes here. Erica did that speech where I'm standing right now on the podium, somehow got through that, her national address. Then she walks out there to where all of our staff are, and she then goes on to do another speech to all the staff, telling them, you're not going anywhere. We're keeping the lights on. We're doing everything. Yeah. I mean, watching that, I was blown away.
Now, don't get me wrong, everyone grieves differently, but I do find it a little bit strange. Like, I'm married myself, and I don't think I'd be acting this way 2 weeks after, especially an assassination of my wife. That just seems like, I don't know, man. There just seems something very suspicious about the way that Erica's acting. And I'm not saying it's a guarantee or that she has anything involved in it. I just think she's reacting very weird.
I am not trying to be rude or disrespectful to a grieving widow, I promise. But is it just me, or is Erica Kirk's vibe just kind of like weird, right? Like, look, like if I were to lose my partner in the way that she lost hers, I'm not saying that I would be like perfectly media trained, perfectly, you know. But can't we agree that it's like kind of weird to like take a picture next to the casket and be like, oh, make sure that you catch me crying. And then to like do a propaganda video. It's like, you don't know what's coming. To whoever did this, you don't even know what's coming. Coupled with the fact that she was like immediately elevated to being the new CEO, you know? Which wouldn't be too crazy, but then you consider the fact that her husband literally made his career out of telling women that they should be nowhere near the levers of power. Plus, when she comes out for the memorial service, there's like fireworks and stuff. Like, aren't we supposed to be sad? And there are rumors circulating about her, about, you know, the time that she worked as a model in the same state that I live in, Arizona. There's some conspiracy theories about her being linked to Trump and, you know, his little child island. Those don't look like they're true, but I think it's pretty telling that people instantly believe that about her. And if I'm keeping it a buck, if I'm being completely honest with the way that I felt just 2-3 weeks ago, I believe that any woman that would marry Charlie Kirk is morally bankrupt. Like, if that's the kind of man that you stand behind, obviously I'm going to be a little bit skeptical, even though he's unfortunately no longer with us.
I've been sitting here not saying a word, but I'm telling you right now, I'm calling bullshit on this.
Every day playing, and she would look at him. She watched the show every day. She couldn't email, but this was her version of emailing. Every day she'd watch the show. And she did it because Daddy would take the item that she gave to him and have it on the show with him. And sometimes he would say, like, this is the item that my daughter gave me. Sometimes he wouldn't, just to see if she was really watching. And so when he would come home, she would be like, Daddy, I saw the puppet on the show today. Daddy, I saw the moose on the show today. Daddy, you brought baby Buff on the show today? Like, so that was their little connection point of, and he loved it too, because it was a little piece of her that he could have with her on the show. But those little moments of...
I lost my grandfather in 2009, and I still cannot talk about sentimental things, or I will bawl my freaking eyes out. Now tell me how someone can lose their husband, the father of their 2 young babies, okay? And 15 days later, they're joking, they're laughing, they're having a great time, they're so excited about the future. When I lost my grandpa, I thought I lost my future. Don't give me that shit that she is just trying to cope, and that's her coping mechanism. Check out this video and see what he thinks, see if you see what I'm talking about.
Only group will continue to go on. All of his socials that God has blessed us with, the people who follow those socials will go on. Nothing is changing. But I want to preface, we're not awkward. We're not like weird. Cringy. We're not cringe. We're not going to be tweeting as if it's him. That's tone deaf and really disturbing. And anyone who does that's like morbidly off.
Yeah, think?
So we have speeches that no one's heard of. We have interviews that no one's heard of. We have stuff from Korea and Japan that no one's heard of.
Podcasts.
So, I mean, in the words of my husband, buckle up, because there is a lot of content to be had. And we have so many amazing things down the pipeline that we are working on currently that will
unveil in due time.
I am so excited.
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm freaking talking about. I think it's odd. I think it's very odd behavior of a grieving widow. And I have never seen that before. And I'm 55 years old, so I've seen people lose their husband. I've seen people lose close family members, including myself. And that behavior is very off. Maybe I'm just being over emotional about this. I don't know. But what do you think about it? What do you think? Have you watched these videos? Tell me what you think about it in the comment section. Because
as we know, there's been a lot of controversy with Erica Kirk, right? She's real, she's fake, she's real, she's grieving, she's got a lot of makeup on, so she's coming off as if she's not real. All this insanity, right? So here's an analogy for you. You have a relationship with Mike. Mike seems great. He's on point, he brings you flowers, he does the right thing, he takes you out for dinner, etc. Mike starts to become a little odd. He's not calling you as much, he's not texting you as much. You find out that he was supposed to be working, but he wasn't working. He was supposed to be one place, but he wasn't. Now you tell your family and your friends, you know, this is going on with Mike. Something's a little up. He's doing this. Something's not right. They say to you, oh, stop it. Stop it. It's you. You're paranoid, you're acting crazy, he seems like a nice guy, blah, 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 blah. Then you say to yourself, yeah, I guess it's me. You're denying your gut instinct, right? You're talking yourself out of it. 6 months come to pass, you keep giving him the excuses, right? You're making excuses for him, and he just turns around one day and says, I don't feel like doing this anymore. I'm out of here. This is my point. When you deny your gut feeling, you usually screw yourself. So if you feel that Erica Kirk is disingenuous, that is your gut feeling. Always stick by your gut feeling, no matter what people are saying to you, or they're knocking you, or they're trying to say that you're this horrible person, or whatever it is they're trying to say. Always go with your gut, because 99.9% of the time, your gut is spot on.
Any woman that can get on stage and meaningfully say that they forgive the person who killed their husband that quickly, you are truly a better person than me, because I've just been so angry. And yet she was able to, through tears, and obviously you could tell how difficult that moment was for her, but she arrived at forgiveness, and she did it in front of the entire world. And I think that every single person should watch that speech. Truly, they should watch that speech. They should watch Tucker Carlson's speech. I don't think even showing you clips of it, I'm going to show you one, could do it justice. You should watch it in its entirety, the emotion, the message of it, and you can obviously see why Charlie fell in love with her. Right? I remember meeting Erica. Charlie and I were in New York for something, one or another, and he was falling for her hard, but he wanted to play it cool. So he's like, come meet her at Del Frisco's in New York City. And I came there, and she was just lovely. She was genuinely such a nice person. And I was like, Charlie, just go for it. Just go for it. And he did go for it. And last night, I really do think that the entire world needed to hear her message. What you took from it, how you could apply it to your life, is up to you. But specifically, the part that she shared that provided me with so much peace, and I needed to hear it truly, was when she explained that Charlie did not suffer, because that, thinking about that is, I really shed so many tears over it, just thinking that he suffered even for a moment. It was my favorite part of her speech. I mean, it's just beautiful to really think about that, that he just blinked and then he was with the Lord. And it is just a fact that Charlie just loved the Lord. It was constantly, like I told you, going through the conversations and how much he would just say, I need to pray about it, I need to pray about it, I need to pray about it, wanting to marry Erica. First thing he said, which I think I showed you guys last week. And Erica's correct. It is important to remember that message of forgiveness that we have within ourselves, and it sometimes feels very hard to do that, but we are called upon to forgive people, to forgive our enemies, even in moments that it seems impossible or extraordinary to do so.
Nobody can tell me that this is a grieving widow. Like, this woman's husband was publicly assassinated, 3 weeks ago, and she's already sitting down with a smile to host his podcast? Girl didn't even wait a month. I don't even know if they buried the guy yet. Holy.
Fam, y'all remember when I told you, once you're gone, people are going to move on? People get real busy when there is an opportunity opened for them. Even if that opportunity opened because you're gone. Word is, Erica already got a podcast. I mean, if you want to know the truth, you can look at it for yourself. I'm just here making it easy. So please, don't give me a hickey.
People are out here calling Erica Kirk a strong woman, but let's be honest, most of these people cannot even decipher basic body language, and most have never studied psychology. As a Christian myself, it just straight up seems like uncanny valley. It's manipulative, because the second you criticize it, you're automatically labeled as a bad Christian. But forgiveness in public like this, that's theater. It's not real. And honestly, I'd rather be a bad Christian than a fake one. 16 days is not enough time to decompress from losing your husband, the father of your kids. This isn't strength, it's a grift. And on Charlie's own show today, she said that she was excited to share all the content because Charlie made sure they'd never run out. Then she said his voice will live on and his show will go on. None of that shows loss. It shows preparation. It shows that this was propped up for a bigger agenda. There is no 7 stages of grief here. She skipped straight to acceptance. And they knew Christians would eat it up, bash anyone who questions and call us evil. But here's the truth. They turned grief into a brand. And if you can't see that, you're the one being played.
4-year-old son, suddenly in April, sometimes I felt so numb. It's our body protecting itself from extreme grief. I couldn't imagine having the world watch me during that time. The pain is unbearable. Yeah, I've seen that. I think we just need to be a lot more gracious. It's an unimaginable thing to go through. And it means if we can't imagine it, then we have no idea how we would react. Nobody is supposed to be able to log online and see the person that they love being shot in the neck, the person that is the father of their children being assassinated and murdered, and going through those emotions and still having to get up and be a parent. And I imagine if it was me, I would probably turn into a robot. I'm thinking about how this impacted me, and I'm not his wife. He's not the father of my children, and I could barely even get out of bed. So I can't imagine what she's going through. So I think that's very fair for you to say that, and I appreciate you saying that. By the
What is the rush? Why is she rushing almost everything, really? Tell me I'm not the Lulu, and all these people are not the Lulu as well. Because sometimes being the Lulu is the Lulu. Like, people dig until they find what they're looking for. And in Candice Owens, we trust.